Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Dante Fortson. I hope you've been enjoying D Day 2020. Use the hashtag D Day 2020. So, at the beginning of all this, I told the Urban Apologetics community that if they said my name too many times, I would show up. And most recently, Vocab got on video with Faithful to God, and they said my name a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. Um, yeah, so we're going to talk about some of that. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you click the notification bell so you can be notified whenever I put out new content. And make sure you share everything. Make sure you thumbs up and share everything. If you want to support, patreon.com/, Dante Fortson. I have Cash App as well, cash tag BHITB. Shout outs to everybody who has sent money via Cash App. I appreciate it. I also have PayPal, same thing. If you sent money through PayPal, I appreciate it. And I definitely appreciate those who send money in the super chat. So if you do want to support, those are great ways. And if you don't have it to support, a share and a prayer. Prayers are always welcome and shares are always welcome. So let's start out with a few verses I think are applicable to this in a spiritual warfare sense. Now, let me go ahead and drop a disclaimer now because we know the urban apologists like to lie and stretch the truth. And they'll say that, look, hey, these guys were talking about violence. I'm talking about spiritual warfare here today. Everything I say today is in the context of spiritual warfare. And another reason I'm putting this disclaimer up front is because even if I put it at the back, they'll try to play the game of, well, it's too late. The damage was done. Nobody listened to the end to get the disclaimer at the end. So I'm putting the disclaimer up front. Everything we're talking about today is spiritual warfare, not actual physical violence. Nobody take my words to mean go out and commit any kind of physical violence. All right, now that we got that clear, let's read Psalms 18:36 through 42. Thou hast enlarged my steps under me, that my feet did not slip. I have pursued mine enemies and overtaken them. Neither did I turn again till they were consumed. I have wounded them that they were not able to rise. They are fallen under my feet. For thou hast girded me with strength unto the battle. Thou hast subdued under me those that rose up against me. Thou hast also given me the necks of mine enemies, that I might destroy them that hate me. They cried, but there was none to save them, even unto the Lord, but he answered them not. Then did I beat them small as the dust before the wind. I did cast them out as the dirt in the streets. Now understand, when all of this started with the urban apologetics community, they were warned by several people to leave myself out of this, to leave Teo out of this, and yet they kept coming after us. They kept mentioning our names. Now, I, on my own, decided to answer that call. Teo Ministries decided on their own to respond how they responded. So I'm only speaking for me today. I just wanted to point out that they started calling us out at the same time. So speaking on myself today, I told the urban apologetics community that I was willing to take on the whole community if necessary, because I understood something. If you go back to Urban Apologetics Exposed, video 1, if you go back and watch that video, I said at the beginning, I had glanced over at them and didn't pay much attention. And then when they started calling out names, I came to free the prisoners of war, the POWs. I had to turn my attention towards the urban apologetics community. And so today, understand, black urban apologists, this message is mostly for you. This message is mostly for you, especially if you did not see my video, Did Christ Die for All Mankind, Part 2, the Gospel of Ruth. I talked about how the Most High left some nations in Canaan to test Israel spiritually, to make sure that Israel did not become spiritually weak, and also to make sure that they did not become weak in the ways of war. And the problem is that I feel like a lot of our people have gotten weak in the ways of spiritual warfare. So that's why the camps have been struggling with you back and forth and didn't just deliver a finishing blow. Now, understand that I look at UA as one of those spiritual tests to the Israelite community to make sure we didn't get soft. Because it's not like they didn't come with no ammunition or no tools for warfare. They came with tools for warfare for a specific group, and they didn't understand that we Israelites are bigger than they think. They tried to group us all into one category, and when that didn't work, they split us up and said, well, some are moderates and some are camps. And now that that's not working, and we're showing that, hey, the people you group as moderates also have varying beliefs, and we come from all walks of life, I believe they're probably in disarray right now, especially after seeing those videos today drop all day. So they're probably trying to regroup right now. But understand, Vocab Malone got very, very prideful, and people kept warning him, if you go against the move of the Most High, you will be brought down. Now, he can try to explain whatever he wants to explain. But understand, when you watch those videos, he is speaking from personal knowledge. You can tell he's not reading off of a script. He's not a professional actor. He is speaking from the heart when he speaks this stuff. Even if I was familiar with Islamic scripture, I couldn't speak in the manner that he was speaking on Islamic scripture. I couldn't quote Islamic scripture off the top of my head like that and then break it down to you off the top of my head like that. Now understand, from video 1, I said that I believe that he might be an Arab. And in video 3 of Urban Apologetics Exposed, I pointed out why I thought he might be a Muslim based on his associations. And I'll come back to that in a second. So understand, black urban apologists. Vocab seems to be a fraud that has infiltrated a Christian organization and then used that as a platform to launch attacks against Israelites, but specifically black people that claim to be Israelites, because he's not launching an attack against white people that claim to be Israel, only black people claiming to be Israel. So this fraud has been made the face of the urban apologetics community. This fraud has been put in front of a large white audience through Hank Hanegraaff to attack your people. And when I say your people, I mean black people, Israelites, because whether you believe it or not does not change who you are. So a lot of you put faith in this fraud, and you guys are seeing the videos. See, unlike them, when Faithful to God put up his title saying Dante Fortson promoted the false 400-year prophecy, he took everything out of context, because that doesn't, the truth doesn't make for a good headline. The truth doesn't always make for a good headline. The truth was, I shared Pastor Omar's video. That's the truth. But because that does not make for a good headline, he couldn't put that there. So they have to pretend or make a false narrative that I promoted this as if it was my belief. And then if you go look at the thumbnails, he calls me a false prophet, even though I made no prophecy. I simply shared Pastor Omar's video. But the truth doesn't make for a good headline all the time. Now, see, unlike them, I didn't have to do any of that. I just let Vocab speak for himself. I just posted the video with him saying his own words. I didn't give you any preface, however you want to say it. I didn't give you any of that. I just let him speak for himself. And so now you guys are getting to hear what Vocab truly believes. And one of the things he's going to say is this is just a training video. And yet he keeps inviting Christians to turn away from Christ. He invites them to turn to Allah at least twice, possibly a third time. I have to go back and count. But I know for a fact at least twice he invites Christians in the crowd to turn away from Christ and turn to Allah. What training are you doing? What kind of training is that? And notice when he keeps saying we as he's talking, how comfortably he says we in reference to him and Muslims. And he says they or Christians when he's referring to the other people that he does not include himself a part of. Just listen to the words being used in these presentations. In my opinion, again, I believe he's a fraud. And he was made the face of the movement for a reason. I kept telling you guys, look at who's funding him. Look behind him and see who's funding him. You see he goes to an Arab church. Look behind him and see who's funding him. You guys see the picture of that white Jesus on his Arab church page? I gave you the links to it. Look behind him and see who's funding him. He had ties to a Muslim terrorist. You think all this is coincidence? In my opinion, Vocab may be an Arab, and I believe he may be a Muslim that has infiltrated the church. And now he's using that power to turn Israelites against other Israelites so that he can attack the black community. And I've been saying this. And now you guys are getting to see your videos for yourself. So let's talk about a few facts, black urban apologists. Why is it okay in urban apologetics? Why is it okay for a white person, for example, to embrace that they are Italian? Why are they allowed to say they are Italian? Why are they allowed to say they're French? Why is a Chinese person allowed to say they're Chinese? Why can a Japanese person say they're Japanese? And why can a Russian person say they're Russian without any kickback, without any problem, without any demonization? But if a black person says, hey, my nationality is Israelite, and that's it, we are demonized. We are told we're not saved. We're not of Christ. We're making it about race. How is it that if we say our ethnicity or our racial heritage is Israel, we are treated differently than a white person that says, hey, my racial heritage is Italian? But more specifically, why is it okay if a white Jew says that they are an Israelite, but wrong if a black person says it? Now, see, I just want you to pay attention here. The urban apologetics community will tell you you shouldn't make it about race. Race doesn't matter, but they only tell you that in regards to a black person saying it because they aren't going into the Jewish communities and saying this. They are not going to the Jewish communities and telling them they're not allowed to say that they're Israel. They're not allowed to say they're Jewish. They only do it if black people do it. There's a reason for that. There's a reason they don't want you to embrace your heritage. It is self-preservation. Go watch my video. Go watch any of my videos. But more specifically, go watch the response to the 400-year prophecy. I talk about the fact that Israel has to wake up first in the land of their captivity. There is no other people on the planet who is still in the land of their captivity. Look it up. Do the research for yourself. Black people that were brought over here to America in 1619 are the only people still living as a people in the land of their captivity. We did not originate here. Our ancestors were kidnapped and forcibly brought here, and we are still living in the land of our captivity. So if you want to see the breakdown, go watch that reply to the 400-year curse, where I give my actual view, not the tainted, twisted lie that Faithful to God and Vocab Malone would like you to believe that I believe, but my actual view on the 400-year prophecy. Go watch that video. We are still in the land of our captivity, and that includes you. Now, what had happened was you guys got taken captive as prisoners of war, and you didn't know it because you're trying to fight a spiritual battle on the front lines and you weren't ready for it. So now what's going to happen is those of you who are waking up and your eyes are being open to this UA deception, some of you are going to have Stockholm syndrome, where you're going to want to defend the enemy. Look it up if you don't know what Stockholm syndrome is. It's something like a mental disorder that comes about through trauma, where people start to identify or even empathize with their captors and their abusers. That's why many women don't get out of bad, abusive relationships. They develop Stockholm syndrome. And it's a real thing. So for those of you who are going through that, I encourage you to pray to the Most High. But understand this, you should not be demonized for looking into your own history. If you go into a history class in any classroom in America, when you read through a history book, they will identify that person's race. You will learn that Genghis Khan is an Asian. You will learn that Martin Luther King Jr. is a black man. You will learn that Malcolm X is a black man. So why is it when you look at the Bible, you are not allowed to say what color those people are? And I will tell you right now, factually, point blank, the reason you're not allowed to do that is because every time you do it comes back black. And we know that those people who do not look like us will never, ever, 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 ever bow to a black Messiah. Not all of them. The majority of them will never submit to a black Messiah under their own free will, but every knee shall bow. This is why they don't want you to look. They keep telling you to avert your eyes when you read Job 30:30 and he says, my skin is black upon me. Or when you read Song of Solomon 1:5-6 and she says, I am black as the curtains, black as the tents of Kedar and black as the curtains of Solomon. I am black because the sun has looked down upon me. They don't want you reading stuff like that because then it tells you the truth. And once you know who you are, then you know who they are and you realize what they did to you was biblical. What they did to you was ordained of God because of our ancestors' disobedience to God. But it also tells them that if all this happened, that the Most High is real and judgment is coming upon them as soon as we awake and call back the Most High. And they do not want us calling back the Most High. The UA movement is 100% European self-preservation. So now that these videos are out, now that you guys are kind of seeing who Vocab Malone truly is, all you Israelites out there, if you were looking for the opportunity to bring down UA or to put a dent in UA's activity, now is the time. Share the videos, go live, talk about the videos, put out all the videos you guys have. Now is the time to do that, because I guarantee you right now, these videos have them in disarray. So now is the time to deliver the finishing blow. So to faithful to God, Vocab Malone, I appreciate you guys. Without you guys, this would not have been possible. Everybody use the hashtag DDay2020 so that way it comes up when people start searching hashtag apologetics. Add these videos to your YouTube pages. Share these videos on Facebook, Twitter, send them out through the email. Let everybody see exactly what it is they're dealing with. If you want to support, patreon.com/Dante Fortson. If you want to support through Cash App, hashtag BHITB. I also have PayPal. And for those of you who are in live super chats, you can support in the super chat. And lastly, if you have not already subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe. There are more videos coming. Make sure you thumbs up this video and all the other videos in the D-Day series. And last but not least, as I already said, share the videos. Oh, click the notification bell. Don't want to forget that. Click the notification bell, please, so you can be notified whenever new videos come. But with that said, you guys know. Until next time, I'm out.